I just remembered, I won't mention names, but when I was going to the non-dual satsang, which I benefited a lot, and yeah, but at some point, this teacher, while in longer meditation, guided meditation, more like presence and seeing the borderlessness and welcoming and allowing and doing nothing. So those meditations had this also a lot of the pointer was to stop trying something, that go try and do something, this efforting, the things like that. Anyway, and at some point this teacher says, if there is any feeling, walk on it. Don't, if the step on it, walk on it. If there's any feeling comes up that's not you, walk on it. No feelings. And then somehow I love that, man. I even found some actually there was this in the community. There was a this symbol when you are loading computer loading something. There was this symbol saying deleting feelings. So somehow, I don't know, there was my part of me, like my friend, that says fuck feelings. So that it got into non-duality, and I hope, I mean, maybe I misunderstood this pointer, but I remember that I liked it, man, to delete feelings, and that's a big problem. I mean, that's a big problem.
It's a problem. Because if you understand what it is, a repeat of your family. See that? If you understand it from a trauma perspective, it's so crystal clear that that's a repeat of your family, like that, or something like that, like some, right? Yeah. So what I've been saying recently is it doesn't make any sense to me that in any non-dual tradition, we should be telling anybody to not have any feelings, because that otherwise, how are we going to heal the trauma? We need skill. Like, we can't just say be angry unskillfully. We want to help people with it, but if we're ever sending out the signal that it's not okay to feel something in any spiritual context, I can't see how that's not a repeat of the trauma.
Yeah, you're right, because I know from deep inquiry and psychedelic inquiry, I got to a place in myself, there was a strong feeling, and then I could see something came up, put it down. And then I could see my dad. And I could see his program saying, don't feel, be strong, don't feel. And so, so that now this older teacher who is like I felt at some point when I met him that it was my dad again. I felt like I was the prodigal son coming back to, it's sweet and beautiful, and whatever. Maybe he was my teacher in another life, or I was his teacher. I don't know, whatever. So love, okay. But deleting feelings, if there's any feeling, walk on it. That is the same like the repressive program that helped my father survive when he had no tools, he had no psychotherapy, was oppression, hopelessness. It helped him to put his pain away and to work hard to raise me and sacrifice himself, do the same thing, and then he died with a heart attack. Ouch. So,
well, can I say something about the deleting feelings? Is that okay? So when we reverse repression, we don't have that. We don't want to delete our feelings. If anything, we would want to inquire into, why am I still identified with it? Like, I want to see here, but deleting would be too close to the mechanism. So I think when we're coming out of repression, that's when that becomes really clear. But if you're in repression, you might listen to those teachers and buy into it because you don't see that piece of it. But again, reversing repression, you would never want to do that. You would never want to delete, because that's how you got there. You would want to allow it fully, consciously, and inquire into what you're believing. But that's just, again, I think the confusion with inside versus outside path, the two different ways of talking about what feelings are.
Hey, so if we tied this up about the other friend of mine who had this fuck feelings, fuck presence. So I think that there is, and he was asking me about how to develop a KI practice. But there is there's other way which we don't talk much, but it's very important to prepare for this work and to do this work on the fly. portable. So now I'm not talking about, hey, put some time aside, have your cheat sheet, look at the different inquiries, go inside and process. Yeah, okay, that's a good way to go. But there's another way to go, more like is this one, Scott, and if you can talk about it, like, okay, I'm going about the day, and then I feel something. So then, okay, to stop right there and be, check my inner body, check my inner body. What's going on? Put a word to it. I'm afraid. Oh, I'm afraid now. Yeah, I'm afraid. It's okay to be afraid. Okay, so kind of without big process, without big going in and digging things up, just maybe just putting just inner body awareness throughout the day. Notice if there's any yuckiness, put a name on it. And so more like lighter, portable stuff. Can you give some pointers to go with that person, every day,
I
Yeah.
think that's much better than not doing any processing, just doing some light processing, even if you don't get to the hard repression work. So how I think some people are getting involved in this is just like you say, if you feel something, it's mostly all relational, so you might see you might pull the person up and just see, is that where and then you could just obviously, like you said, just feel and allow, kind of first dimension, just feel and be more tuned in. But you can also just say, like, I'm not angry, or not to rapid fire to go into repression, or I'm not sad, or I'm not hurt, just to get the flavor of how the thoughts connect to the body. Like, oh yeah, I am angry, or I am sad, and then just making that conscious. That you might experience some good stuff from that. Actually, it might be uncomfortable, but afterwards you might feel more expansive and more authentic, and that might pull you into the deeper repression work too. It's just to do some light work like that. Hopefully, are we clear enough about how to do that?
I think so. Yeah, it's almost like from one angle, let's say different levels. I'm feeling something. I'm not sure what it is. Stop, get out of your head, get more present, check what's happening. What is this? Or who or what is this about? Oh, it's about my boss. And what is it? Oh, I'm pissed. Okay. So that helps. Next other alternative thing is that what is this about? Oh, it's about my boss. Via vulnerability inquiry, which is reverse inquiry with emotion, in case we don't know what it is, or in case we have a cocktail of a bunch of them. So we can say, I'm not angry with him. That the body will say, I am angry. I'm angry. We don't need to go deep, rapid fire into it. Just witness the thought and the energy. Almost tell yourself, hey, it's okay. It's okay to feel this. Take a breath. Yeah. Then go back. I'm not afraid with my boss. No, I am afraid because there might be a bunch of feelings in the same cluster. Bring this a little bit and then drop it. Just come back to the present, because it's what's here. I mean, not becoming too mystical or too deep esoteric. It's just, I was telling my friend, like, imagine as if I was trying to explain to him why it's good to be present without getting too esoteric, because I knew he's going to reject that. I say, dude, you buy a ticket for a fun ride in Disneyland, yeah? So there are two ways to go about it. You are going through the rides like this, and then, or you are going through the rides like this. It's more fun to be present to the ride, right? Otherwise, you're missing the whole thing, right?
Of course. Yes. So I want to come back to that vulnerability inquiry, because we talk about trusting our body, but how do you do that when you don't know what you're feeling, or if you're feeling a cocktail of things? So just to get started with, like you say, I'm not angry, not just to feel that, but to see the thoughts that acknowledge it, because then you're bringing that online, that flavor of that emotion in relationships. So the next time you interact with somebody, that flavor might be more conscious, or fear. So you're just not bearing it as much. I think it's a really good way to start. And I forgot that's how we suggested starting some of that repression work, is just to do vulnerability inquiry like that.
Yes. Yeah, I guess at some level of KI is to use the boomerang. I'm on the back pocket as often as possible. Like I'm triggered, notice the energy, just get more present a little bit, get more quiet, because there are a lot of thoughts. I'm not aware of the energy, and I'm not mindful enough. I can't do it. So just get out of your head, be present to the stuff, not to be present to get calm, but be present what's here. Then what old story of mine is evoked by this conflict, or what does it mean about me that he looked like this? Okay, so now we identify deficiency story. Yeah, you used to say this, we have the boomerang as a best friend for some time.
Yeah.
And then have the vulnerability inquiry in the other pocket, because we have usually two pockets. So we need two pockets. So boomerang in one pocket and the vulnerability inquiry in the other pocket.
Yeah.
That is good. That's already good. We are storing energy in some way.
I think that those two tools alone could start to bring people a lot of freedom, just those two tools. Because can you just imagine, like, when I was thinking about people doing this, if you don't know that you're angry, just that right there. And so then if you don't know you're angry, you might be identifying with something because of that. You don't know that either. So you're sitting here, spinning and toiling in some stories that if you would go straight to the authentic emotions you're feeling, some of those stories and identities could relax, and you could be more open with the person. And if you could just see that, just a little taste of that, then I think you would understand what we're doing here more.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little taste of a direct experience. But I guess like anything, you have to go and do it. Spend a few days and check it out.
And I guess, we talked this before, but I guess the genes, they have 4 pockets, 5 pockets. And you have another pocket, a little bit of being present to the present, because also this person, he told me, hey, I went to the beach, I went to the train, I went in the park. Hey, this is very good to walk in the park, especially if you're doing deep, you're processing this stuff. It's intense, man. So you need to soothe yourself in a way. You need to not just process all day. We had this in the community, like people were gung-ho, they would process all day, every day, and they got fried. So there's some balance of walk in the park or go to the beach and just look at the birds, look at the trees. Don't go in daydreaming all the time. Somehow go see a good friend, go to the gym, things like that. So it's important.
I mean, I think that using mindfulness and awareness, like when we're not in inquiry, is like really helpful to keep us regulated, just to be with what is. Yeah. So if anybody's still, I know that you're bringing up that guy who thinks that I'm saying, dispose of presence, but I hope that I haven't influenced people to think that. I just hope that we've made clear through this interview that that's not what we're saying. And I love your roller coaster amusement ride, because I think that's clear. You can understand that, then we're not suggesting do away with presence. Yeah.